All right, we're going to write an algorithm that is going to split an array into two arrays with the sum of n-1 in one array and all the n-1 integers that we use to create that sum in the other. So an example of that would be if we had an array with something like 1, 3, 5, 18, and let's see, like, and 8, or no, we'll do 9. Okay, so what we want to end up with the answer being 1, 3, 5, 9, because if we add all of those up, they are going to equal 18, and that's what would be in the other array. So to do this, we would just simply add up all the numbers. So 1 plus 3 plus 5 plus 18 plus 9, and that equals 36. And then what we would do is we'd say, okay, we're going to subtract each element and see if that is the right one. Because if it is equal, if it's the number that created, that is the sum, it's basically going to be the double of it. So we'd say 36 minus 1 is 35, and we check, is 35 equal to 1? No, it's not. So we move on to the next one, and we say 36 minus 3, and that equals 33. Is 33 equal to 3? No, it's not. And 36 minus 5 is 31. Is 31 equal to 5? No, it's not. Then 36 minus 18, and that is 18. So yes, 18 is equal to 18. So we know that's the number that we want to put in our second array. And then we know that we want all the other elements into the first array. So let's go ahead and see what that looks like in code. So what we're going to do is, and I think what we'll have to do is return a list of the arrays. So those are of type ints. And we'll just call it answer. Or that's not, we're going to call it split arrays. And it's going to take in one array of integers. Okay, so first we're going to go ahead and make, let's go ahead and test to make sure our array has elements in it. So if array equals 0 or array equals null, we can throw an exception or something with some sort of message. And we can also say that if array.length equals 1, then we basically don't have enough elements to add together and to split. So that would also be throwing an exception. With another message that kind of means something. And then we'll go in and we'll say, first let's add up everything in the array. So for each int num in our array, we can say, let's make an answer, or int total equals, started at 0, and then we say total plus equals num, So we're adding them all together. Okay. So we've got that all taken care of. They're all added together. And now what we want to do is go through the array again and say, for each in array, if total minus num equals num, then we know that we've found it, and we would say, actually, we'll make this array outside of it. So we'll say that we have an int equals new int of size 1. So then we would know that sum at 0 equals the number. Okay. Otherwise, we're just going to check for each one. So, and it should only have 1. So let's go ahead, and once we find that, we'll break. Because we don't want to accidentally find like duplicates then afterwards, because that could happen. So we'll break out of that. And then we have our sum. So then what we need to do is, and actually we can create the other loop at the same time. Let's make some more room. Okay, if we have int nums, and those are going to be the size of array.length -1, because I'll have one less. So what we can do then is, at the same time of going through each one, if it doesn't, so else it's not matching, we can add it to nums. In that case, we're going to need to use a for loop instead. Okay. Okay, because that we need to be able to keep track of this. So nums at I equals, okay, I want to switch those other ones. So if total minus array at I equals array at I, then the sum at 0 equals array at I, and we would end up breaking because, oh, but we do want to add the rest of the numbers to it. So in that case, I also will do this. In that case, we're going to need something to keep it from adding the duplicates. So we can put like a something to keep track of the duplicates, and that's a bool. Or actually, we don't even have to do something new. We can just say, and sum at 0 does not equal array at I, which means that We found it, and we don't want another one to go in there because we want to add it to our other array. So that should take care of that. And then at the very end, we just need to have our list of arrays. Okay, so then at the very end, we would say answer dot add and we would add nums and answer dot add sum and then return answer. Okay. All right, so we can go through and keep track of our things. We've got total, we have our sum array, and we have nums. Okay, and let's go ahead and throw in a duplicate in here. And we can change this to 19. So this way we can check and make sure that our duplicate test works. So we go in and everything seems to be right. There's no array issues in the length or the size. So we have total starting at 0. And then we have for each one total plus equals num. So we go through 1 is total, then we go through and total is 4. We go through and total is 9. We go through and total is 28. We go through and total is 37. And again, 38. Okay, so total is 38. We come in here and we've got sum starting out. We've got nums, and we have our new list made. So if I equals 0, so let's keep track of I. Okay, so I starts at 0, and our array length is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So our array length is 6. And so 1 is less, or 0 is less than 6. We go into our for loop if total minus array at I, and so array at I is here. So if 38 minus 1 equals array at I, which it doesn't. So we don't even get into that second part of that, else nums I equals array at I. So that means that nums at 0 is going to equal 1. Okay. And then we go through and we say I plus plus. Okay, so we see a 3 here. 38 minus 3 is 35. And so we come in is 35. If 35 equals 3, which it doesn't. So we come in and nums at I, nums at 1 equals 3. I plus plus. We go in, 5 is our array at I, so total minus, so 38 minus 5, which is 33. Is 33 equal to 5? No, it's not. We come down, nums at I, which is 2, equals array at I, which is 5. Okay, we come down, we go around, and I is now 3. We come in, if 38 minus 19, which is 38 minus 19 should be 19, which it is. Okay, so then we go in and that's correct. And sum at 0 does not equal array at I, and sum 0 is not equaling that. So we go in and sum at 0 equals 19. We go out of that. And so then if, and then I plus plus, so I is now 4. So if total minus, so 38 minus 4, and that's not true. So we go in to nums at I, and so here's a little bit of a bug because we don't want, it's going to skip over this I and it's going to put the 4 here after that. So what we'll need to do is actually have a different variable to keep track of that. So we can actually just have like a J or something, or a counter. Just call it J. We're gonna initialize it right after this list. I'll start at 0. So this way we can do our J here and do a J plus that needs to be every time we go through. So it can go outside of that else, J plus plus, and that's going to be in there. So in that case, we're going to have our 4 here because J will be, no, that's right, we want it inside the loop. So else J plus plus, we want it to keep track of the positions available inside nums. Okay, so we go through J plus plus, and now we've got our J to keep track of, which we can put here. And we are going to say that it was already on 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Because it just incremented after adding the 4. So then we go through I plus plus, I is now 5. Oh no, we incremented the 4 before we started over. Okay, so we were still going through as I have 4. And so we say it's 38 minus 9, which is 28, equal to 9. It's not. So then we go and go down here, nums at J, nums at 4, which is this position here, is going to get the 9. J plus plus, J is now 5. And 5 plus plus, I is now 5. We go in, if total minus array at I, so if 38 minus 1 is equal to array at I, which it's not, then sum at 0 equals array at I, or it's not equal to that, so we don't go through that. Else nums at J, which is 5, is going to equal array at I, which is 1. Okay. J plus plus, I plus plus, we go in and we get out of that because it's bigger than the length. So then answer is going to add this here, which is 1, 3, 5, 4, 9, and 1. And sum has 19. So it's added both of those arrays and then returning that answer. And this solution solves this in O of n time and O of n space, because we did create the additional array, which together they both equal the same size as the original array.